This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They come in riding high, just one loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
On the other side of the field for the visiting 49ers, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken in at the 1. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. They'll be led out by their quarterback standing at 6'2" from Eastern Illinois. It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stand an even keel, doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels. Because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. And it's third down. And the Buffet boys, the O-line. Hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. On play action, it's Garoppolo. Hard throw, incomplete.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
On 4th down, here's Matt Bosher on the punt. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Oh, what a move. And shutting him off, now open field. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. So here come the Ravens now, ready to get the football for the first time. Commanding the offense will be Lamar Jackson, the electric quarterback out of the University of Louisville.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Here we go now.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
All right, here we go. Blue line it. Blue line.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive.
All right, here we go. Blue line it.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Back to return it, Christian McCaffrey. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the 49ers will take over deep in their own territory. The 49ers offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
False start, offense.
So that'll back him up 5.
Still first down.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They go play action here on first down. He'll drop it off to McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15. And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. A handoff, Devontae Freeman. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The starters now defensively for Baltimore.
Linebackers still often control defenses, and C.J. Mosley does exactly that for his. A Pro Bowler 3 of his first 4 years. Not only can he run and hit, he diagnoses plays so well, feels them out, and makes sure his team is organized and in the right spot on each and every snap.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. On play action, now Garoppolo. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. The punter Bosher on now as he gets this one away. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And down he goes. The 49ers get there.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
All right, here we go.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. This is how the defense will look for San Francisco. And they're squarely in the middle of the pack against the run this year, number 16 in the NFL.
They're not an elite unit. They're not, as what you'd say, the top part of the league against the run. They're a solid group, though. They do a good job. What they're looking for in this one, though, is an elite performance.
Jackson on 3rd and long. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Here's J.K. Scott now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Almost outkicked his coverage there. 48-yard punt, but 10 on the return. And the Niners set up well. They take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Meanwhile, over in Cincinnati, and early on, the driver's seat belongs to the Seahawks. Russell Wilson, a first-quarter touchdown pass in that one. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Play action, Garoppolo. He's going to fire one, deep left. He's got it at the 15. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
They'll look to run with Freeman. And across the goal line into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers. Devontae Freeman with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Niners have taken the early lead. And nothing special there. They show they were going to run the football. They ran it. They got it in.
Like old-time football, right? Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. Straight-ahead power, and they got it done.
Robbie Gould on for the extra point. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it ends in a touchdown run from Devontae Freeman. Gold now out to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires on the first quarter of action. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you and you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the Ravens who have the football. They've got it 2nd and 4 to start things out. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
They go play action with Jackson. He'll get this one to Switzer. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
They go play action now. Jackson. It's a loss of 11 on the play. And it'll be a 2nd and long. On 2nd down, here's Jackson. Over the middle, complete. That's Turner. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did. When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
A 1st down carry here for Johnson. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Now a handoff. Johnson. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
3-19.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now Johnson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2.
Blue 90.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Duke Johnson with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So that one a long 11-play drive, and it was finished by the touchdown run from the 15. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as those guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense getting the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Now a play fake. Garoppolo escaping the pressure right. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Here we go.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time, and a first down. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We're back to Baltimore after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Back to the ground on first. It's McCaffrey. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Well, if you look where that play starts, O-line versus D-line, that was a battle won by the D-line.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's won by quickness off the ball. Who can handle the guy across from them best? On that play, the defensive line did exactly that.
Now Garoppolo throwing on second. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and they're going to face a third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And they're left looking at 3rd and 8 after the second down pass play only went for 2. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Steps away to his left. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they have little chance of winning this one.
And Gold is able to put it through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
Now it's Gold after splitting the uprights to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. This Ravens offense heads back out there led by Lamar Jackson. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
Now, he'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. They begin the drive with Johnson. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
All right, here we go. 3-19! 3-19!
On the ground, this is Johnson. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting 49ers on top. As we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, bye weeks, they're over. We've once again got a full slate of games to get to as we take you around the NFL here in Week 12. We'll begin up north at MetLife Stadium over in New Jersey. And it's the Cardinals who are out in front in that one. The Cardinals trying to hold on and claim victory. From there, we'll head to Pittsburgh to check on the Steelers at home at Heinz Field. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting L.A. Rams. Le'Veon Bell with a touchdown run. Lastly, let's head to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. See what's happening with the Bengals. In that game, all square as they take on the visiting Seahawks. In the game you're watching, it was Jimmy Garoppolo who was brilliant in that first half. His guys lead, though by only a field goal. Still anybody's game. As we send it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. He completes it to Evans. 30. And he gets it down deep into San Francisco territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 55 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the field flips here as they'll go to work at the 20 now on 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be second and very short.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now let's go. Green.
Again, it's Johnson. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
So 3 plays, already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time.
Hurry up, here we go. Boom.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
2nd and goal from inside the 5.
Hurry up, here we go.
He'll get it up the middle. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Duke Johnson with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the Ravens are in for 6. He's given him a little jolt, just gave him the lead there, but 2 TDs now in the game.
And that jolt puts them in the lead. What a terrific job by him. He is carrying the ball and simply saying, I want to win.
And now he's hoping his defense has that mentality as they try to hang on to that lead. Tucker now for the extra point. Tucker with the extra point, and that gives him a 3-point lead.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequences.
And they're waving pressure too much. Down he goes.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, that allows your blitzers to get there.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. On play action, they'll throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
It's never a bad idea to try and get it to Antonio Brown, but there must be a little bit of the Madden curse going on for our cover athlete here. Hasn't been able to get that elite separation that we're used to seeing from him.
The Niners on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 17. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He finds some Antonio Brown. Kiss him goodbye. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big third down play there for the Niners. And even 60 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Tackle there by Alex Anzalone.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
On second down, here's Garoppolo. Complete to the tight end, Kittle, over the middle of the field. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. They'll run here with Freeman. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
And that'll be incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. The Niners on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. And he fires one, but incomplete.
They converted twice on third down that drive already, but couldn't make it a third. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Gold is able to put it through. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. So a decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
Now it's Gold after splitting the uprights to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident.
Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away, because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
All right, here we go.
Jackson. Over the middle to Evans. And it's a fumble. And this is going to be 49er football. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. They've got to find that good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
Trying to get the running game going with McCaffrey. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. And yet again, this run game just continues to be completely shut off.
Completely stymied. I mean, they're trying to get some consistency, trying to find places to roam. They just haven't been there throughout this game.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Garoppolo to throw on 2nd down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. A field goal would get them the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd, Garoppolo throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So it's his 3rd field goal now with the ball game, and they've needed his leg. This last one gives him the lead.
It's been a back-and-forth kind of a game, hasn't it? Now you got to tell your defense, guys, need you to make this stand up because we got the momentum going in the right direction, but we need you to make sure we carry it home.
Now it's Gold after splitting the uprights to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 23. Jackson on first down. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Jackson from the shotgun. And incomplete. Johnson the intended target, and it's third down.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
The Ravens on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 17.
Hurry up, here we go.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Give him 30 yards there. The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Green.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 47. And into the end zone, a pick 6 for the 49er D as they score a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Gold to add the extra point. Gold with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm.
There goes Duke Johnson. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Duke Johnson, 75 yards. And the Ravens have cut it to within a score. We He's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Now Tucker to add the PAT. A little surprising they wouldn't go for two, but this is up and good. And the lead is down to 2. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Tony Jefferson. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. This game, it's been defensively oriented on both sides, so I guess it stands to reason that the play of the game comes on defense.
So it's my kind of game. You know that.
That's
anytime we have a defensive battle, but that, as you said, it stands to reason that's the way the game tilted. Someone had to make a big play, and the way the defenses were dominating, that's exactly what we got.
Tucker now to add the point after. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead is up to 5. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. Fielded about a yard deep. And with a marker down, he's up just past the 25-yard line, but I think they're going to be going backwards. Let's check the call.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
Yeah, this is going to put them back with not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
To throw, it's Garoppolo. It's complete to Brown, right side.
Holding, offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books. But now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Looking to throw. Garoppolo. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. 23 yards on the play.
And that was a beautifully executed screen pass. They let the rushers get upfield and get the escorts in front, meaning the offensive linemen, other blockers out in front. completed the pass beautifully. So now you've got all that open space, the big guys leading the way.
Over the middle, it's complete. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all.
Now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. McCaffrey following the penalty. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. On play action, it's Garoppolo. Flushed out right. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Garoppolo to try again on 2nd down. That's complete to his receiver, Pettis. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
11.
Now whistles here, and I think one of the big boys for the 49ers might have jumped.
False start. Offense.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long. The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. I guess the good news as they start this drive is that they still do have the lead, Charles. If their defense hadn't been able to hold them to a field goal on the other side, they'd be down. But now it's about preserving that very small lead.
It is preserving and maybe stretching it out a little bit. Because if you're a starter on that side of the ball, I certainly hope you didn't loosen up your shoulder pads or start to cut the tape off. Because if you did it way too soon. They've got to go back out there with renewed vigor, for lack of a better term, and also a good plan. They need points, and they need them now.
Now Jackson. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's ball here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop them here.
Now let's go. Green 39.
Now Jackson. Open receiver, that's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. And quickly we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Here's J.K. Scott now, as he's on to punt for San Francisco. And it's taken in at the 9. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another fourth-quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. He's back to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle and friendly partner. It's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play action fade.
Back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as it comes with 1:04 left to go in the game. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. They go to Johnson again. And he'll take this one down to about the 40.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Wow, a personal foul at this stage in the 4th. Hard to believe.
Really hard to believe, and now that glow of hope that you had begins to flicker out, doesn't it?
Yep.
Hurry up, here we go.
The Ravens taking a knee with victory seemingly in hand here. Now the Niners going to signal for their third and final timeout as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. The Ravens taking a knee with victory seemingly in hand here. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for Baltimore, their playoff chances take an uptick as they move to 7-4. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Pittsburgh Steelers come to town. Meanwhile, for the Niners, it's a loss that could hurt them come playoff seeding time as they drop to 8-3. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.